The shocking truth about porn. Have you ever wondered why your desire just isn't what it used to be? Even though you're still eating well, still hitting the gym, still masturbating regularly, still doing all the right things. You might think watching porn every day is just a harmless way to blow off some steam. But here's the truth. Your brain is quietly shutting down your real sexual response. Literally. As a urologist with over 30 years of experience, I've seen hundreds of men just like you. Men with no underlying medical conditions, no cardiovascular disease, no diabetes, and no obvious hormonal imbalances. But still, they can't get or maintain an erection with a real partner, even though they had no trouble getting aroused just a few hours earlier while watching porn. This isn't random. This is a real and growing condition, especially among middle-aged men in the US. It's called PID, porn-induced erectile dysfunction. And the scariest part? No one is teaching you how to spot it. No one's warning you what it does to your body, your mind, or your masculinity. So you end up guessing. You eat more oysters. You take supplements. You lift heavier weights. But nothing really changes. Your testosterone continues to drop. Your desire fades. And your manhood slowly slips away without making a sound. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact science of what's happening. We'll look at how PID literally breaks the connection between your brain and your penis, why your testosterone is tanking, even if you think you're doing all the right things, and most importantly, a real solution that doesn't require pills, injections, or shady miracle cures. Because here's the hard truth. If one day you stop responding to the woman you love, what else really matters? Let that question sit with you for a moment. Because if you're nodding quietly, if something about this sounds all too familiar, then this video might just save your manhood. And no, that's not clickbait. That's a professional promise. Let's get into it. PID. When your brain stops talking to your body. Imagine your brain as a master control switch. Every time you see something arousing, it flips a dopamine switch, triggering pleasure, motivation, and a sexual response. That's how we're wired. It's part of our biology going all the way back to our earliest ancestors. But what happens when you keep hitting that switch over and over without ever needing a real partner? Think of it like sugar. The more sugar you eat, the less sensitive your taste buds become. Soon, you need more sugar just to feel the same sweetness. Your brain works the same way with dopamine. Watching porn frequently floods your brain with dopamine. Day after day. Night after night. Until something dangerous happens. Your brain stops reacting. Or more specifically, your dopamine receptors become desensitized. They stop responding to normal levels of stimulation. This phenomenon is known as desensitization, and it's a major part of how PID develops. So here's what happens next. Your brain no longer gets excited by real-life intimacy. It sees no reason to send arousal signals to your penis. Because to your brain it's already been there, done that, through the screen. The worst part? You may still be physically healthy. No diabetes. No high blood pressure. No circulation problems. But despite that, you can't perform when it matters most. I had a patient, 42 years old. No smoking. No alcohol abuse. He worked out regularly. Took his vitamins. Had a beautiful, loving wife. He came to me and said, "Doc, I can still get hard, just not when I'm with my wife. Only when I watch porn." This isn't rare. It's not psychological weakness. It's not laziness. It's classic porn-induced erectile dysfunction. Your brain simply isn't connecting anymore. It's no longer linking visual or emotional intimacy to real-world sexual function. It's trained itself to respond only to pixels and repetition. To fantasy, not reality. And over time, this disconnect becomes your default. You might still feel desire. But when you're finally with someone real, your body doesn't respond. Because your brain is not sending the signal. Here's where it gets dangerous. Because once this becomes a pattern, you start losing confidence. You feel ashamed. You may even stop initiating. And the cycle continues. Your penis isn't broken. Your brain just doesn't believe it needs to turn it on anymore. Let that sink in. You're not weak. You're not alone. And no, this isn't something that only happens to addicts or young guys glued to their screens. It's happening to middle-aged men. Men who are successful, driven, and otherwise healthy. Men who simply fell into a habit and trained their brain to disconnect from real intimacy. PIDE is not about moral failure. It's about neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to rewire itself for better or worse. And when porn is your daily source of stimulation, you're rewiring your brain to shut down natural desire. Even when everything else in your life is working fine. That's the bad news. The good news? Neuroplasticity works both ways. If you trained your brain into this mess, you can also train it out. But first, you need to understand that PIDE is real. And it's not going away by itself. It requires action. And a full reset, not just of your habits but of how your brain sees sex, intimacy, and arousal. And that's exactly what we'll talk about next. Testosterone and the disappearing feeling of manhood. Here's something most men never hear. Testosterone isn't just a hormone, it's your biological identity. It's the fuel behind your drive, your edge, your sense of purpose. And when it drops, you don't just lose your libido. You lose your energy, your confidence, your very sense of who you are. What's worse? It's not just happening to older men. In my clinic, I'm seeing it in men as young as 35. Even 40-year-olds, physically healthy but mentally worn out. They're not sick, but they're tired. Not just physically, emotionally. Tired of trying. Tired of caring. Tired of feeling anything. So what's going on? Let's talk about the HPG axis. Hypothalamus, pituitary, gonadal. This is your body's hormonal command center. Here's how it's supposed to work. Your hypothalamus sends a signal to your pituitary gland. The pituitary sends a message to your testicles. Your testicles make testosterone. It's a beautifully synchronized system, until something disrupts the signal. That something? Chronic dopamine overload. From things like porn. Or endless scrolling. Or anything that tricks your brain into thinking it's being rewarded. When you flood your brain with fake stimulation, the hypothalamus gets confused. It starts to believe your body is in a constant state of sexual activity. So it downregulates the signal. It tells your body, we don't need more testosterone right now. Worse yet, the pituitary gland becomes lazy. It stops sending the signal altogether. And suddenly your testosterone levels tank. And you don't even realize it's happening. This isn't age-related. This is habit-induced hormonal decline. And it's showing up in every aspect of your life. What are the warning signs? You feel tired, even after a full night's sleep. Your muscles shrink while your belly grows. You don't sleep as deeply. Your sexual desire fades away. You start to feel like something's missing, but you can't name what. Now ask yourself these 5 questions. Do you wake up feeling ready to face the day? Do you feel attractive and attracted to others? Have you ever avoided intimacy, not because of stress but because it just didn't excite you? Do you feel emotionally flat even when life is going okay? Do you find yourself turning to porn more than to real people? If you answered yes to 3 or more, your testosterone may be dangerously low. And no, lifting weights and eating clean might not be enough. Because this isn't just about lifestyle. It's about how your brain is regulating your hormones. A man doesn't need to be touched to feel powerful, if his testosterone is high enough. Let that sink in. I've seen men who thought they were depressed. Men who had tried therapy, changed jobs, left relationships, only to find that what they were really missing was testosterone. The biological drive that gives a man clarity, vitality, and sexual presence. The good news? Testosterone isn't gone forever. Your body still knows how to make it. But you have to retrain your system. You have to take away the false signals and bring the real ones back. And yes, when we combine that with natural recovery strategies, men see not just better lab numbers, but better lives. Coming up next, I'll show you one of the most promising, science-backed therapies available today. It doesn't involve pills or injections, but it can bring back your performance, your confidence, and your connection. Let's talk about shockwave therapy. Shockwave therapy, a drug-free way to reboot your manhood. You're probably asking yourself right now, if I don't take pills, if I don't use testosterone injections, if I don't go under the knife, then how the hell do I actually fix this? The answer might surprise you. It's called low-intensity extracorporeal shockwave therapy, or LESWT for short. It's science-backed, non-invasive, and for many men, it's been a total game-changer. Here's how it works. Shockwave therapy uses sound waves, gentle pulses of low-frequency energy, that are delivered directly to the penile tissue. They don't hurt. They don't require anesthesia. There are no needles, no scalpels, and no downtime. But those little pulses? They do something incredible. They stimulate the growth of new blood vessels. They help restore damaged endothelial tissue. And they break up microplaques that block blood flow at the capillary level. Translation? Your penis starts getting better blood flow. Naturally. Safely. Without drugs. The result? Improved sensitivity. Stronger erections. And most importantly, a return to natural sexual function. Let's go back to PIDE for a moment. If porn has disconnected your brain from your body, if low testosterone has slowed your system down, then shockwave therapy is like pressing the reset button on your entire sexual system. Your brain begins responding again. Your blood vessels regenerate. And your penis does what it was always meant to do, respond to real intimacy. At major research centers like the University of Miami, Cleveland Clinic, and top European institutions, clinical trials have shown that 60 to 70% of men see significant improvement within just 4 to 6 weeks of starting shockwave therapy. No pills, no shots, no side effects, just results. Of course, like any therapy, it works best as part of a full recovery plan. And in my experience, the best results come from combining 3 key steps. 1. Stop porn completely. You have to remove the artificial stimulation that caused the problem in the first place. Give your dopamine system time to reset. Give your brain a chance to reconnect with your body. 2. Boost testosterone naturally. Focus on sleep, strength training, whole food nutrition, and lowering stress. These aren't gimmicks. They're the foundation of hormonal recovery. 3. Use shockwave therapy properly. Work with a specialist. Follow a proven protocol, usually 6 to 12 sessions over several weeks. Be consistent. Your results depend on it. You're not broken. You just need to reset correctly. I've had patients walk into my clinic feeling completely defeated. Shame in their eyes. Frustration in their voices. Hopelessness in their posture. And just 6 weeks later, they were standing tall, clear-eyed, reconnected to their partners. And more importantly, reconnected to themselves. That's not magic. That's biology working again. All it takes is a decision. To stop doing what's hurting you. And start doing what heals. You don't need blue pills. You don't need hormone patches. You don't need risky surgeries. What you need is a plan. A system. A path that respects how your body is designed to heal. Shockwave therapy is not hype. It's not a miracle cure. But when combined with real lifestyle changes, it's one of the most powerful tools we have to restore male sexual function naturally. And it works. I've seen men come back to life. When you hear words like PIDE, low testosterone, or shockwave therapy, it's natural to wonder, is it too late for me? Is this stuff even real or just hype? I get it. Skepticism is healthy, especially when you've tried things that didn't work, especially when you've been let down before. But here's what I can tell you, after 3 decades of working with men just like you. I've had guys walk into my clinic with eyes full of doubt, shoulders slouched, voices barely above a whisper. They'd look at me and say, "Doc, I just don't feel like a man anymore." That's a heavy thing for any man to say, It takes courage. It takes honesty. But 6 weeks later, 8 weeks later, they walk back in, head held higher, energy in their step, light in their eyes. Sometimes they don't even need to say anything. I can see it. Their body has come back, and so has their spirit. Because the truth is, height isn't a death sentence. It's a habit, and habits can be changed. Testosterone doesn't vanish forever. It's suppressed by stress, by poor habits, by fake stimulation. But it can be unlocked again. Shockwave therapy isn't magic, but it's one of the most powerful drug-free tools we have to help your body remember how to be a man again. Men don't grow weaker with age. They grow weaker when they forget how strong they used to be. You don't have to live in shame. You don't have to fake that everything's okay. And you don't have to give up on the part of yourself that still wants to fight. If something in this video resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Leave a comment below. Share your story. Not just for you, but for the thousands of men watching who might be silently struggling too. If this video helped you, give it a like. Send it to a friend. Someone you care about. Someone who might need to hear that they're not alone. And don't forget to subscribe. Because this won't be the last time I bring you the truth that others are too afraid, or too ashamed, to talk about. This is your health, your body, your manhood, and you deserve to know everything you were never taught.